So after months of looking like dead sticks, our cherry trees are finally waking up and starting to throw out some new growth. And this year I have quite a big decision to make regarding them. So these are the cherry seedlings that we grew from seed quite a few years back now in our old place. We planted about 7, and these are the 2 that have managed to surviving the root rot that we had due to the salinated water in the old place and the stifled growth that it affected quite a lot of my plants. Last winter, we grafted both of these plants, and if you haven't seen that video, I'll make sure it just pops up for you now. We grafted both, and both were successful. But however, this one was more successful, and the graft made a lovely, beautiful fusion. And this one started failing because it only fused on one side. And when the hot weather came, it quickly withered. And I thought, well, fear not. We wanted to grow one in its natural form anyway, so we could eventually one day compare the 2. So we're going to let this grow as a wild cherry tree. If you don't know, cherry trees don't grow true to type, or they won't produce a fruit, should I say, that resembles the one that you've eaten. Hence, people normally resort to grafting to ensure a good crop, to ensure a good productive tree. Otherwise, it's a huge genetic gamble. You never know what you're going to get. You could get something quite good, but you might, and it's more probable that you'll get a wild type of sour cherry, which can be really cool anyway if you're baking cherry pies and things like that. So they've survived winter dormancy, and I'll be honest, it's something that is always a little bit of a worry since I've had problems with the other cherries in the past. Growing them in pots, I think it seems to be a little bit more of an issue. They can get overly wet, which can lead to root rot and clanker, other fungus-borne issues. So I'm happy that, well, they've pulled through. I'm just worried about the summer this year in Cordoba, and they say it's going to be especially hot this year.
Meteorológicos mañana. Oh, Scorpio.
One thing I really love to see at this time of year is all the new growth, the buds starting to swell and fill up and break out, producing lovely new green growth. All deciduous trees, basically, in winter, they start shutting down for dormancy. It's a survival mechanism so that they can survive the winter's cold and the lack of sunlight, conserving water and energy. What I find really amazing is inside these buds, all the growth for this year has already been planned and prepared. Within this bud, there's a little embryotic leaf, flowers, sometimes even tiny fruit structures that are already sitting inside waiting. You can see an example of that in our apple espalier that has started breaking out in growth. Out of the buds have emerged new foliage, flowers, and even some fruit. It's basically saying, well, look, winter's done. It's time to get down to business. And that's actually where I've got a dilemma this year with our cherry trees and a few other plants that I have on my terrace. They're basically waking up, they're ready for another season of growth. But the problem is, well, they're pretty restricted inside these pots, and I can keep giving them bigger pots, but I'll keep running into basically the same problem. I would really, ideally, love to just get them in the ground where they can actually fully root and start developing into proper nice fruit trees. In the pots, I just feel like eventually they're not going to make it because the roots end up becoming root bound. They encircle the pots, they're restricted, which restricts airflow. Water and nutrients tend to fluctuate a lot more, and it's really hard to kind of modulate how much water they're getting. And the trees are also growing at a terribly slow rate as a result. I'm thinking to put them at my sister's place. She's got a house which has got quite a decent garden and a bit of land that I can plant them in the soil there, which will obviously give them more space and allow them to grow and develop, and also allow me to keep an eye on them and prune them and shape their growth going forward. Which will be cool to bring you guys along on that, and we can actually see these things actually turn into decent trees, because the way it's going now, I just feel like it's just going to be a matter of time until they maybe wither away, until one day I forget to water them and it's 48 degrees here in Cordoba and I come back and they're just dead, fried to a frizzle. And I kind of don't want to see that happen. And I think I'm going to do the same with my apple espalier that is growing really well, and my fig tree espalier. I think I'm going to plant them all there in the ground where I can continue that kind of pruning and training, develop that espalier further. And when I'm there doing that, I can continue to make the content and we can follow that journey rather than trying to grow these things on a terrace. We don't know if we're going to be moving from this place pretty shortly as well. We don't know where we're going, but I've got a lot of stuff that I'm going to have to move, and I feel sorry for my lower back. Maybe I'll take them down in the next week or so that they're not here for summer, because we're not going to be here for summer. I'm actually going to be in Norway for the whole month of July working, grafting hard to pay them bills. So I don't want whoever's going to be watering whatever plants I've got left on this terrace, someone forgetting to water it, and I'm coming back and I'm just seeing some toothpicks sticking out of the soil. I'll be very, very disappointed. If you want to check out the rest of the cherry tree saga, which follows the whole journey of the cherry trees that we grew from seeds, then make sure you hit the video that's just popped up now, a playlist, and be sure to hit the subscribe button, the like button, to let the YouTube algorithm know that, well, you've enjoyed this kind of informal update video. And well, until next time, guys, I'll see you later.